In today's video, I want to talk about how it's been living in the Dubai Marina, which is arguably one of the world's most luxurious places or one of the most well-known places. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you the pros and I'm going to give you the cons that I've experienced living here for the past 8 months or so, and give you an insight into how it is living in the Dubai Marina on a day-to-day basis, because that's very different, I feel like, at least compared to someone who's just here on vacation. You kind of get a better inside view into how it is living here. I'm working in the same apartment that I sleep in. This is basically my home base, right? So my experience is going to be quite different and a lot more nuanced, I feel like, than someone who might just be here on a 1-week vacation. But if you're new to the channel, let me just introduce myself. My name is Rasmus. I'm the owner of Minix. It's a performance marketing agency where we specialize in helping e-commerce brands scale through UGC videos and paid advertising. Also, if you end up enjoying this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I would massively appreciate that. And if you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below. I read all the questions and respond to all of them. So if you have anything you want to know about Dubai or Dubai Marina or something like that, or business in general, just let me know. I'd be happy to answer. Now, with that being said though, let's get straight into it. So first I want to start with the pros. And the first thing is that it's very you get a very touristy and sort of a vacation vibe living in the Dubai Marina, because there's just so many people, and that's something that I quite like. Compare that to me living in Spain or living back home in Copenhagen especially. I feel like it just got a little bit mundane, a little bit boring, right? And I'm sure you can probably relate to that as well. Growing up in your hometown or something like that. Growing up there can just feel very homey, not in a bad or a good sense, but here it just doesn't really feel like that, because you don't feel like you actually own it, because there's just so many tourists, there's so many people all around the marina, and so you kind of feel like whenever you step outside that you're kind of on a vacation, which can be quite nice since I work in my apartment, right? And so I'm just kind of home for most of the day, which can get a little bit boring sometimes, not gonna lie, but then I can just go outside for a walk and you kind of feel like you're getting a breath of fresh air, because it just feels like you're kind of on a vacation. And the same thing with going to the pool, for example. Then you kind of get this vacation vibe, so you can relax a little bit more perhaps and just kind of take your mind off things. Now, the second thing is that you can have an ocean view, or you can have a marina view, or sea view as they call it here. And that's something that I quite like. So I grew up, and my dad still lives in the same house, grew up, with a house out to the ocean. So I've always pretty much, I think since I was 10 maybe, we moved into that house, but I've pretty much always lived out to the ocean. And so for me, I quite like that I can just look outside my window right now and see the marina, which is quite refreshing, because that's not something that you easily get here in Dubai, right? Because you're in the desert. So there's a very small section of Dubai that are out to the ocean where you can actually see water. And otherwise, you might just be looking at grass or, other high-rise buildings, which I'm definitely also in my apartment here. But it's just nice, I feel like, being able to see the ocean and that, for me at least, makes it feel like a little bit more like home. The third thing is that it's close to JBR. And so if you're someone who likes going to the beach, that's definitely a plus sign. Now, obviously that depends on where you live in the marina, because you can either be very far or very close to JBR. But if you're someone who likes going to the beach, that's super easy. For me, it's like a 15-minute walk or 10-minute walk, and I'm in JBR, and I could just go to the beach and chill. That's definitely a big plus side. But another plus is that I'm not tempted to go to the beach every single day. And that's a big reason why I, for example, would never be able to actually live in JBR, because if I was in a building, overlooking the ocean and overlooking the beach at JBR, I think I would be tempted every single day to go to the beach. And that's not why I'm in Dubai. I'm in Dubai to make a lot of money and to set myself up for life, right? So that's my main mission. And so if I were, located in JBR, with a great view over the JBR beach, I think that would kind of make me want to go to the beach every single day, even though I might not do it, but you would just be exposed to it all the time. And so that's, what I feel like is a good pro of living in the marina, is that you can look to the marina. You can't jump in the water. I'm pretty sure you'll die if you do that. I don't think it's made for that, but you can easily get to the beach if that's something that you want. And then the last pro here is that in general, you're just close to everything. Living in Dubai Marina is kind of like living on easy mode, which is great, because I barely have to step out of my building to get to the grocery store. It's I think 30 steps maybe, and then I'm in a Carrefour, which is great. and there's a bunch of restaurants in the marina as well. So like you don't really have to go outside of the marina to get anything. Like there's gyms, there's grocery stores, restaurants, like everything you would need. There's also a mall. So there's everything you would need in the marina, and also you're pretty close to everything else around in Dubai. Now, generally in Dubai, like you're not really more than like 25 minutes, 30 minutes away max, unless you get stuck in traffic, obviously. So that's great. But yeah, in the marina, like you're just very close to everything. I don't think I've ever had to drive more than like 20 minutes to get around somewhere, unless there's been like massive traffic. So that pretty much sums up the pros. Let's get to the cons now. So the first thing is traffic. And so I did mention, right, that the marina is a very touristy place and it kind of feels like a vacation because there's a lot of people. But because there's a lot of people, that also leads to a lot of traffic. And obviously that depends on where in the marina you live, but I happen to live just down to a roundabout, and just like the road to my building is basically one of the places where all the taxis like to park. So if I go out and try and get a taxi in the morning, like there'll usually be like at least 8 taxis waiting for me and I can just pick one, right? And there's in general just a lot of coming up that road. Now that's great if you want taxis, but it also imposes a little bit of another problem, which is that people here like to honk because there's a lot of traffic jams. So people are like honking to get all the other drivers to, you know, move forward and get driving, right? And so one thing I've noticed living here is that around like 7, 8, 9 p.m., usually there's some sort of traffic jam, and the taxis and the people driving in the roundabout that are stuck in the roundabout will just go crazy and just like honk like it's a full-blown concert. You would not believe it. And my apartment is located just down to that roundabout, and especially my bedroom is basically, I have a little balcony from my bedroom, and there I can basically see, you know, where all the taxis are parked, and so I can hear that very, very well, which can get quite annoying sometimes because they can honk for like 15-20 minutes non-stop. It's crazy. I've never experienced anything like that. That's definitely a big con. Now, obviously, as I said, like it depends on where you live and also what specific unit you actually get in your building. The second con is that rent here is high. Dubai Marina is one of the most expensive places in Dubai for rent, and usually you don't get a lot for your money, especially if you're from the Western world or Western side of the world, I feel like, because we all have some sort of how a normal apartment is, right? I feel like it's the same if you're from Europe. Like if you ever traveled within Europe, every single country, even though they're different, all kind of look like each other. Like if you go from the Netherlands and you go to Copenhagen, sure, the architecture is a little bit different, but you can still kind of feel at home because they all look like very, very much the same, right? But that's not the same here because we're in the Middle East, right? The design choices are very different. So if you want something that's, you know, what we will call a little bit more modern or minimalistic or like Scandinavian inspired, like you're going to be paying good dollars for that luxury because that's just not the choices that they actually make here. And that's also why I pay 50K a month or 50K a year, sorry, for my apartment here, is because the design was something that I could relate to. Now, obviously, if you like the you know, Middle Eastern design and how they usually do things around here, then sure, like you can live for less than 50K a year in rent money. But if you're from Europe, you know, or US or Canada, something like that, and you want something that feels a little bit more like home in terms of design, then you're gonna be paying good money for it. And usually that's, you know, just the burden you kind of have to bear as someone who, you know, wants to live nice. Now, the next con is that the design of the marina is deceptively bad. And what I mean by that is that if you looked at Google Maps, the marina actually looks quite small. At least it did to me when I kind of did my research before moving here, because I run a lot, and so I was like, hey, you know, let me try and find some run routes and see, you know, how to get from A to B. And so first off, the marina is like 10 kilometers around. Like it's very, very long. You're not gonna just walk around the entire marina. I do it for a run, for a long run, that's 10 kilometers. And you can kind of push it up to 12 if you take like a little side quest almost. But yeah, if you just run around the marina, like it's 10 kilometers. And then it's split into two. So it's kind of like, if you can kind of see it as two half circles, and to get from one half circle to the other, you have to cross a bridge. So you have to kind of go up, then go across the bridge, and then go down again. So you kind of have to go on like the main road, you can almost say. And these bridges, they aren't located very close to each other. So let's say, you know, you want to go from this side of the marina to this side of the marina, but your friend or whatever where you want to go to lives in the middle of two bridges, like it can be quite a walk, not gonna lie. And if you like miss a bridge or something, or you're just kind of wandering in your own thoughts, like that can take a long time. And so the design of it and getting from one end to the other end, or one side to the other side, like that can take quite a while if you just happen to live between two bridges and you need to go to the other side of the marina. Like that can take quite a while, longer than you would just think. Now obviously, like it's not going to take an hour, but it's just going to take longer than what you would actually think. Now the last thing here is that the design of the marina, it does grow a little bit old. As I said, like it's you can kind of see it as a circle, right? And when you've walked that circle enough times, it kind of feels like just being in IKEA. Truthfully told, that's what I want to compare the marina to, because you don't have, as you would in most of Europe, like you don't have these like green fields or like just like space in general. Like you have a 6 meter wide sidewalk and that's pretty much it. And then you just have high-rise buildings all around it, right? So you just kind of have this 6 meter wide sidewalk, or however wide it is, I don't know, but that's just sort of the road you're walking. So if I want to do a run, for example, in the morning, and I want to run from my side of the marina to the other end and then back again, right? And then later I might have to go to the mall to pick up some contact lenses. That's what I did yesterday. I'm walking the same track, basically the same running track 3 times in a day, right? And that just does grow pretty old, because you kind of get to, it's just repetitive. That's what I'm trying to say. And after a little while, like that's just not super appealing. Then I would rather live somewhere else where, there might be some grass and like a more open area where I can walk. But I will also say, like in the beginning, it can be amazing, and especially if you're on vacation here, you might enjoy the marina layout. And not gonna lie, like it is nice. Like it's a man-made marina, right? You don't see that very often. And so that's like the pros and cons. And so just to give you my overall thoughts, right? I feel like, even though you might hear me talk about a lot of the cons here, like I feel like Dubai Marina is sort of a cheat code for your first year living in Dubai. It's kind of like living life on easy mode, because you don't have to deal with anything. Taxis are nearby, gym is nearby, you have your grocery stores nearby, barbers, like restaurants, whatever you need. You literally just walk outside your building and then walk for a little bit and then you're there. So it's super easy. So I would say, like, for the first year of living in Dubai, I would say the marina is perfect, because it's literally life on easy mode. Like you don't have to think about anything really. And so that's what I do like about it. Now, with that being said, now I've also lived here for quite a while, and ran up and down the same fucking track every single day, multiple times a week. But now, like, I do just kind of miss nature a little bit. I miss having, some sort of open field, just feeling like I have a little bit of space and not just this one damn sidewalk that I can walk on. And I do miss not having to add 10 minutes to where I'm going. So like, let's say I want to drive to downtown, right? And I want to be there at 1 p.m. I don't need to be in my car at 12:40. I need to be in my car by 12:30, because for me to get up from the basement from a parking spot and then get just outside of the marina, which is literally just 1 or 2 stop signs or crossroads, that easily adds 10 minutes to my trip. And it can even add more. It can even add 15 minutes if there's a lot of traffic, or if I just hit a bad light or a bad, red signal. So that definitely it does just grow old. There's no way around it. And so those are kind of like the things that I'm missing right now in my life. I feel like right now there's just like some friction to it, and I feel like it gets a little bit repetitive, which is definitely something to keep in mind. But honestly, like, I'm super happy that I chose Dubai Marina to live for my first year in Dubai, because it just, as I said, like it made my life so much easier, and to get settled into things made everything so much easier. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Dubai Marina and how my experience has been. I hope you got some real value from this. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below and I would love to answer. And if you ended up enjoying this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I would massively appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.